Hey y'all, it's the Mid-Autumn Festival or the Moon Festival this week in Hong Kong, which means one thing is for certain. Mooncakes are back, bitch. Mooncakes are a traditional Chinese pastry that are primarily consumed around the Mid-Autumn Festival as a symbol of unity and harmony among friends and families. Its typical round shape resembles that of the moon, and so you'll see people eating a lot of them as a way to pay respects to the moon and to hope for fortunes and prosperity. And they're just cute and pretty and tasty, you know? Now I thought I was going to make a cute little video about the Mid-Autumn Festival, but on my quest to find more mooncakes around the city, I was honestly taken aback at how expensive these little ass pastries are.
I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost.
And so, I started to do some research, and then I started to learn some darker things about the mooncake market. So how did such a simple pastry become so expensive? Why do people keep buying them? And what should be done to address some of the external problems that it creates? First off, mooncakes are just generally super cheap to make. Their main ingredients include things like flour, sugar, paste, some eggs. So these are just like really cheap ingredients that you can buy at the supermarket. That means like the production costs of making the actual cakes are quite low. In fact, studies estimate that making the actual mooncake only represents around 20% of the actual total cost of producing the product, while packaging costs 60% more than the actual baking. So when you're shelling out upwards of like $60 for just a pack of 6 mini cakes, it's not the actual cakes that are so expensive, but it's essentially the boxes, fancy packaging, and the branding that you're paying for. And with so much competition, you'll see a lot of different businesses marketing their mooncakes in different ways. They have different flavors, they have different brand partnerships, different packaging styles, and so all of this inflates the actual production costs of the packaging compared to the actual cost of making the cake itself. So you might be wondering, why would anyone want to buy these fancy boxes to begin with? If they're so cheap, why don't people just make them at home? I think aside from, the time intensity to make them, mooncakes in general are just very special gifts, and I think it's part of the gift-giving culture here for people to spend money to come across as respectful to the gift recipients. So how many of these do you usually sell around the time? He's not alive, yeah.
In this period, I think every day we sell
20 of these boxes?
Yes.
When did you start selling? September. Just a quick economics lesson. We can think of mooncakes as price inelastic goods, which means that demand for them won't change as much even when prices go up. Because mooncakes are only sold around the time of the Moon Festival, and since they are perishable goods, you can't really stock up early and hand them out when it's time to gift them. And because of the gift-giving culture and the monetary signaling of friendship and respect, people will likely buy them anyways for this special occasion, so it's unlikely that lowering prices will change demand that much. Also, there really isn't a substitute to mooncakes, which means that changing prices for other gifts to give won't affect the demand for mooncakes. It's basically like the importance of having turkey at a Thanksgiving dinner. Because mooncake packages can cost up to thousands of Hong Kong dollars, businesses have to sell these products at higher prices. And popular hotels like the esteemed Peninsula Hotel are able to use their brand representation to charge premiums on mooncakes. Last year, The Guardian reported that the highly competitive mooncake gift box market is worth about 16.9 billion renminbi in China. That's around 2.3 billion US dollars. All this expensive ass gift giving eventually led to bribery and fraud. Like, it became so common for politicians to just bribe each other with mooncake gifts just for favors in the future. Go China! But there was actually this whole operation that came out of this. People who wanted to bribe couldn't send cash directly because that would look a little too shady, so they would instead buy these mooncake coupons from a third party, and then they would give those coupons to the people they were trying to bribe, who then could redeem those coupons for cash from those third party sellers. And so the third party would also make a little profit out of the whole sale. It really became a whole business that came out of this. There were just so many shady practices that in 2013, Xi Jinping had to put a regulation on mooncake sales. Girl, these ladies are trying to sell me these cakes. Oh, okay.
This is vegetarian.
Red dates. But perhaps a more dire consequence of mooncake packaging is its toll on the environment. Let me just show you how much waste can come out of mooncake packages. So this is just a box of 2 mooncakes. I already ate one, but it comes in the actual box. And then each mooncake is individually wrapped. So it has plastic wrapping, and then it comes in like a little plastic container inside. So this is just a mini example, but you can imagine for like a box of 8, how much waste this eventually produces. And these boxes aren't typically like used for anything else. So a lot of these companies end up prioritizing the form of the package rather than its actual function. And it's not just plastic waste, it's food waste too, which also contributes to climate change because when food decomposes in landfills, it releases methane. Last year, more than 4.6 million unwanted mooncakes were left over from the Mid-Autumn Festival, according to estimates from the local Hong Kong food charity group. So what can be done to address the mooncake's darker sides? At least on the waste front, it's up to both producers to find more eco-friendly and sustainable ways of packaging, and consumers to be more mindful of their spending practices or donating unused mooncakes. But for a culture so steeped in tradition and gift-giving, maybe it's time to realize alternative practices to show gratitude, whether it's by making your own mooncakes at home or just spending quality time with your friends and families. Still, mooncakes are a cultural and delicious item that I hope many of you get to enjoy in moderation. So happy Mid-Autumn Festival! See you next time!